Sawfish. It's gonna get a buff, but even when it does get a buff, it's gonna be pretty shitty. So, low C tier. It's not good at hunting. It's mediocre at fighting. It just sucks. Elephant seal. I'll give it a high B tier. It takes a little bit of skill, but not it's not super fun to play as. Um, uh, it takes luck. It does take a lot of luck with elephant seal to kill things. Like you need to make sure that the enemies do just enough damage, not so much that they kill you, but enough that you can go on the offensive. So you kind of want to get in that mid range, like at half health. It's really good to be at with elephant seal. Next is great white. It's a no skill animal. I really would like it to be able to dash boost if you just click rather than having to charge. Um, it's a low B tier. It can win certain fights. It loses certain fights. It's not that good at team busting, but yeah. Sleeper shark. I'll put that at an A. It's not as it's better at fighting than orca, but it's worse at hunting than orca. So uh, I'd have to give it um eh. It's a mid skill animal, pretty good. It has low speed and really low agility, but I think it's good enough to at least be right there. Next, giant softshell turtle. Well, that's giant softshell turtle is one of the least aggressive animals in the entire game. It kind of just farms. Um, there's the Arctic softshell turtle, which I guess can theoretically generate coins. I've heard that a guy a Giphy penguin hard eye that guy's a GST main. I think what he does is he goes to swamp. He kind of farms a little, then he goes to Arctic, then he goes back to swamp. So yeah, it, it's it's a decent animal, but actually, it, it's just not offensive at all. And I think I think instead of having a dash boost, I think it would be much better if it had like a sprint boost where it gains speed, kind of like Sunfish. Because with the dash boost, it kind of it doesn't really go well with the no recoil. The no recoil doesn't really it's not good for GSD, but I'd put it above Sawfish and above Hippo, not a bubble goblin though. Next, Stonefish. I used to kind of think Stonefish was really bad, and it was like in D, but I think it deserves at least B, since it doesn't really die. It has really low health, but it's survivable enough that it can just go into the ground. Its barbs are really useless. I think they should buff the barbs to do 150 damage each instead of just 50. Because me and my friend were talking sled. He was saying that the barb should actually be a proper punishment. Like you should get hard, like you should get punished if you eat those. So yeah, I think barb should do a lot more damage than they do now. But right now it's firmly in C. Sunfish. People say it sucks. Some people say it's underrated. I'll give it very low C tier. It can farm enough to get by. One of my friends got 9 million with it. Don't know how he did it. He said he just farmed for 3 hours. So yeah, I guess it's okay. Pretty bad. Wouldn't play it though. Um, I I would not personally play it, but I guess. Um, walrus. Walrus is kind of like sunfish, but a little bit better. It gets really hard countered by giant squid, so uh, it's one of the worst team busters in the entire game. So it belongs kind of C minus ish. It's a little more viable than I think hippo's better. And also sawfish, now that I think about it. Whale. Whale is definitely S tier. It's super tanky, and its suction ability allows it to do a ton of damage. So I think I actually would put it above giant squid. But the thing is that the player base really targets whales, because being honest, no one likes whales. So if it weren't like in terms of stats and abilities, it is better than giant squid. But I'd have to put it below giant squid because giant squids don't really get nearly as targeted. Whale shark. It's better than sunfish. Better than walrus. Better than sawfish. Not as good as hippo though. So, mm, it's a pretty no skill animal. All you do is click and hold for your entire playthrough, and you might get a good score. You probably won't. Coconut crab is an A for sure. If you're good with it, you can go to the ground and like hit and run with the stun. So I think it belongs in A. Definitely deserves A. But it does have weaknesses like giant squid and whale both can kill it. But it's very good. Colossal squid is a low A tier. Um, yeah, it, it's pretty OP with just the sheer amount of range that it has with its hits. Also, the small slaps can be spammed and they just do crazy damage. So yeah, it belongs there. Leatherback. Leatherback's it's probably the most no skill animal in the entire game. Uh, it's at the very high end of B tier because it doesn't lose fights, but it's not offensive enough to win them. So yeah, Torpedo Ray. It only has 2 boosts, so um probably, but it's unreliable. I'd put it at the top of C tier since it on the rare occasion that it does work, it's very good. Basking is a high end of B because very good at team busting, but it's so defensive that it can't really finish people off. It kind of relies on just third parties to do that for him. So can't get into A tier if you can, if you need third parties. Moray is an F, no doubt. Moray is the worst tier 10 in the entire game. It sucks. It I used to main Moray, and back then, like out of all of the kills I would ever get, about 2/3 of them would get stolen by stronger tier 10s, and it's so inefficient at killing that by the time it can get something low, someone else would have already stolen it. And it just sucks. It's an F tier. Not to mention that its hurt box, like the way its hurt box is that with this, like, it's easier to wall pin because it's like a rectangle instead of just a square, like most hurt boxes are. So yeah. Bull shark, I'd put it in B since it's a glass cannon. It can win it can win most face tanks. And it can always run away. So, and with the double scar and triple scar, you can get some pretty easy kills with it. Thresher shark. Thresher shark's a low B since its shots do a lot of damage, but you really have to have good aim and you need to be well practiced. The only good thresher shark mains I know is like splat cat. Um, I don't know if other people main it. I mean Threshy means it. He's good at it. I don't actually see him play Thresher though. But anyways, that is the completed tier list with giant squid being the best and Moray being the worst. And thanks for watching.